Hello and thank you guys for choosing my video. In today's video we'll be replacing the front brakes on the 2007 Ford Explorer. And to begin, the first thing we want to do is loosen the front wheel using a 19mm socket. You want to loosen all 5 lug nuts while the vehicle is still on the floor. And you want to use a jack to lift the vehicle till the wheels off the ground. We also want to support the vehicle using a jack pin as well. We can now completely remove the lug nuts and remove the wheel. The surface of this rotor is really glazed and has a few grooves in it. And now to remove these rotor retaining clips. I like to reuse them, but if you don't care for them, you could just cut them off. I use a flathead screwdriver to pry them up a little bit and then I just rotate them off. And to remove the second one, you just want to repeat the same procedure. Next, we will need a 17mm socket to remove the brake caliper. And you want to use it to loosen the 2 bolts holding the brake caliper to the bracket. Since these bolt heads are short, you want to make sure that you push it on the tool as you loosen it. It'll avoid you stripping the corner. And once you got the 2 bolts removed, you will notice that the brake caliper still does not want to slide out. So to be able to remove the brake caliper, you want to slightly compress it using a screwdriver. So you want to slide the screwdriver in between the brake pad and the rotor and gently pry against it. And this will compress it just enough to remove the brake caliper. Now that the caliper is removed, we can set out the old brake pads. And you will notice that these brake pads still have a lot of material left. But the brake pad surface also has grooves and glazing which you do not want to reuse. But the best thing about doing your own brakes is if you have warranty on them, you could just return them and exchange them. And next we could go ahead and remove the 2 bolts holding the caliper bracket. Once you got the 2 bolts completely removed, you could just slide out the caliper bracket. And now the rotor should just slide out. And I'll be using ceramic brake pads and 2 new rotors. And the first thing you want to do in getting replacement parts is match them to the old ones. And we can now go ahead and use brake cleaner to clean out the protective coating on the rotor. And you want to flip it over and do the other side as well. You can now go ahead and install a new rotor. And if you decided to reuse the clips, all you have to do is rotate them on. I ran out of the brake caliper lubricant I normally use, so I'll be using this one instead to see how it works. And you want to grab the brake caliper bracket to swap out the old brake hardware for the new one. And all you gotta do is pull them out. And you just want to match it with the old one to make sure that's the same. And you can just slide in the new one. And you want to repeat the same for the other. And now you want to add brake lubricant to the brake caliper pins. This will help prevent uneven wear on your brake pads. You just want to add a little bit, if not it'll make it hard to push back in. And when you put the pin back in, you want to make sure that the seal slides in all around. And you want to repeat for the next pin. Now you want to add brake lubricant to the back of the brake pad. And you want to add it to the contact points you see on the old brake pad. For the inner brake pads, you want to add it to where the piston presses onto the brake pad. And for the other two, you want to add it to the 3 contact points of the caliper. And you also want to add it to the edges of the brake pads. And doing so will help prevent any brake squeal noise that might come with braking. And we can now go ahead and reinstall the brake caliper bracket. And once you get the 2 bolts installed, you want to make sure you tighten them and torque them to spec. We can now go ahead and install the new brake pads. Now you want to compress the brake caliper to accommodate for the new brake pads. And you want to use a disc brake spreader and an old brake pad to do so. And you want to alternate from one piston to the next so you compress it evenly. And as you do this, you want to keep an eye on the brake fluid level so it does not overflow. Once you got the brake caliper compressed, you can now go ahead and reinstall it. And install the 2 bolts as well. And again, you want to be sure to be pushing in on the socket as you tighten it. And you want to make sure that they are both tightened to spec. And I always make sure to double check all the bolts before putting on the wheel. And we can now go ahead and reinstall the wheel. And you want to make sure to snug them up before lowering the vehicle. And now we just gotta torque on the spec. But really important, before testing the vehicle, you want to make sure to pump the pedal a few times. And that does it for this video. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.